important is keeping your heart open, especially as we go through all the technological advances. And I will say this, I will continue to say this, like all the technology is great, but we need to learn how to maintain our humanity and keep it as a tool and not give our power away to the technology. And we want to use the
To AI.
technology. We don't want the technology to use us. Yeah, with AI, yeah. Like that could be a tool or it could take over, you know?
Yeah, my grandparents don't know the difference.
They don't know the difference. Yeah. Like, so they think like if they're talking to like an AI bot, they think it's a real person. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's still kind of like quote unquote primitive now. Like it's only gonna get more sophisticated.
it's
It's
gonna
only
be more like cyborgs.
so this is what we're going into territory that like no one knows what it's gonna be. Like it's just like literally brand new
Well, we already went through that territory last year in December when they launched the Tesla bot where they serve you inside your house.
Oh, like the butler like
Yeah,
robot. But again, that's just the beginning. Like that's just the beginning. We're just scratching the surface. So yeah, I mean, but that's a good example. We're just scratching. So it's like, yeah, I mean, forget about like jobs, economy, like that's a whole other topic of like how it's going to change things. And then people are going to be displaced in terms of employment. So then what are they going to do? And how is that going to look? Like literally society is being reimagined, reformed. Again, we're at the beginning of it, but that's why it's so important because we're in between. So we're in between the old and the new. So the old is like still kind of there but still kind of crumbling, and like the new is just kind of starting. So like there's this in between time, and it's like that's actually very exciting because it's like, ooh, what do we want to create? And like we're all here adults, like how can we be a part of this? So you don't have to be like, whatever, Elon Musk or whoever, like you don't have to create like a whole thing. But like I was saying before, one of the things that we can do is just in like this transformative time where like the old's kind of crumbling and the new's not quite formed yet, but there's like, we can be a stabilizing force in between the two, right? So you don't want to like, some people are like hanging on for dear life to that old way of life, and that's not good. So people are going to go kicking and screaming in the old way. And then there's other people that like want to go a little bit too far, like on the other side, or like too quickly, or give up all their humanity to technology. Like, so how do we balance all of that? So I think people like you guys who are interested, who are self-aware, who are trying to improve yourselves, um that's to me the most important thing we could be doing right now. Um and and the other thing that I would say too is like, as I was saying before, sort of the detoxing and the cleaning up that we do a lot, that we're going to be doing a lot this year. Then like nature abhors a vacuum. So if you detox, if you release a lot of negative habits or physical toxins or whatever, then like good stuff fills up, and then you're able to access new and different parts of yourself. So that's also, I think, going to be really interesting when you get a grip on your own reality and take control of your own agency, your own well-being on all levels, and you really allow yourself to start to express really who you are, maybe for the first time in your life, no matter how old you are.
hmm
um, there are actual gifts and talents and abilities that are embedded in who you are, in your DNA, and what you came here to do, that then can really start to come online. And those are the things that are needed exactly right now, however big or small that you might perceive them to be. but it's like those are the things that we need right now. And by you doing your work, by everyone who does the inner work, who really takes care of themselves, who really does the self-reflection and the processing and allows yourself, release the old emotions and yada yada, you're emptying out so that something new can be filled in. And or you can think about it so that the crap that was sitting on top of your true essence or your talents and your gifts, but you was like, there was all this crap on top of it, right? You clear
Yeah.
you clear the crap away, and then now your gifts and talents and all those things can just be there and they can just do their thing. And or you might get inspiration because again, the environment is changing so much. So there could be like things that you didn't even know you could do. And then all of a sudden you're like doing things. You're like, wow, I didn't know I could like play the piano or I don't know, speak Swahili or whatever. I don't know. Like all of a sudden, like you find aptitudes and talents that you didn't even know you had. But but because
Right.
but because you did the work, then you have more space for all of this energy and inspiration and expression to then happen. So that's why it's so important for us to for every so like this is the other thing that I want to say is like every single person is so much more important than they think they are. Like just because you don't have a title, just because you don't have, this amount of money, just because you don't look a certain way or have a certain kind of home or whatever, like those things are so irrelevant. Like every single human, the things that are more important are the ones that do this work. Those are the people that are the most important and the most powerful ultimately, especially into the times that we're moving into.